2018 Lexus LS. Big, rear-wheel drive, luxury branded sedans seem archaic as the 21st century heads toward its third decade. Maybe the Mercedes-Benz S-class will always be around, but Lexus could have let the LS die. After a few wistful tears and melancholy reflections, the world would have moved on. After all, Lexus makes its real money selling crossovers and SUVs. Yet here's a new big Lexus 4-door, the direct successor to the original 1990 LS400, that rocket. Launched the brand into existence, and also the only Japan-made vehicle of its type still sold in North America. Highs. Lovely details, some daring design elements, built like a beryllium atom. Lows. Isolated driving dynamics, overall spindle grille, little mechanical character. Details. If God is in the details, then the new 5th generation 2018 Lexus LS500 packs a supernatural punch. This is a car best appreciated at the granular level, where texture and intricacy invite ever greater microscopic investigation, and while you forget overall impressions and dive into the minutiae. But the big picture matters too, and that's more problematic. Like, where did the V8 go? Except for a few floor stampings, and some of the rear suspension, the latest LS is pretty much all new. Now riding on a 123.0-inch wheelbase, and stretching a full 206.1 inches overall, it's actually longer than ever before. The sole wheelbase option is 1.3 inches greater than that of the previous L model, as distinct from the discontinued and shorter, non-L version. And overall length is up an inch too. The new car is also an inch wider, and an inch lower. So the new LS500 and LS500H hybrid are big mothers. They are still a smidge shorter than the US market S-class, but the smidge has tightened to less than an inch. The new LS is the largest car any Japanese manufacturer has dared sell in the United States. And as is increasingly common in this class, both versions are available with either rear or all-wheel drive. Sayonara, V8. Whereas every previous generation LS has relied upon V8 engines for propulsion, the new one is a V6 only proposition. The standard engine is the new V35A FTS direct-injected, twin-turbocharged DOHC 24-valve V6. With a relatively long 100.0mm stroke, this 3.4-litre V6 is tuned for torque production, and it slugs out a seamless 442 pounds-foot from 1600 to 4800 RPM. Meanwhile, the 416 horsepower peak occurs at 6000 RPM, which is an area of the tachometer that the silky shifting 10-speed automatic transmission prefers to keep the engine away from. The 416 horsepower represents a 30 horsepower bump over the previous LS 460's 4.6-litre V8. But it's the increase over the V8's 367 pounds-foot of peak torque that is more significant. Although the V8 delivered good low-end wall-up, its torque peak was up at 4100 RPM. The turbo V6's additional 75 pounds-foot not only is greater in quantity, but is delivered over a lower, broader rev range. Hybrid times. The 500h's hybrid powertrain is similar to that of the LC500h Coupe and uses a different, naturally aspirated, Atkinson cycle 3.5-litre V6, the 8GR FXS. A member of Toyota's GR family of V6s that appears in everything from the Tacoma pickup to the Camry and plenty of other Lexus models. It has a shorter, 83.0mm stroke. In this application, Lexus rates it at 295 horsepower, before adding in the whirring electric motors. In Lexus speak, those electric motors are motor generator 1 and motor generator 2. Both are water-cooled, permanent magnet units responsible for both propulsion and regenerative braking. And they're fed by 84 lithium-ion cells. Combine Thing 1 and Thing 2 with the V6 and total system output is 354 horsepower. The trick element in the hybrid system, however, is the transmission, that Lexus rather humbly describes as a multi-stage hybrid. The dauntingly complex transmission uses a 4-speed planetary gearbox coupled with the elements of a hybrid's continuously variable transmission. The two halves are effectively programmed to make a 10-speed automatic transmission, while still allowing for some all-electric motoring. Lost in the spindle. Put your eyeballs within a few inches of the grille, and the pattern of the mesh is either hypnotic or mesmerizing, depending on your state of mind. It's like a kid's spirograph design that has been computer modeled in 3D during a beer bust at Pixar. In all its intricacies, it is fascinating. Choosing the F-Sport version of the LS brings with it a grille that's just as detailed, though not as interesting to contemplate as one loses touch with reality. All that texture exists within Lexus's controversial spindle design. The massive molar of the spindle defines the front of the LS. And there are plenty of other neat details in the styling. The side view mirrors are kind of glorious little sculptures on their own, and they all combine to produce a vehicle that is half Maserati, half Mercedes, and with a third half that's advanced Fusion. It doesn't look quite like anything else.